Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, I'm about to transfer us to Facebook.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So what we got here. Right. Just moving some stuff around. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. That's over here. Move this up here. All right. I think this is how I want it. Well, I better plug up. That's what I better do. We'd be in big trouble. Hold on. Oh, Jesus. That's what I better do. All right. Sorry about that.
No problem. Is it good lighting over here? Can you see
Yep,
me?
you look good. Yep. Christmas, Roberta. This is the end of the day. I can't get it right. Can't get it right. Okay. And you see that I have on. Ugh. All right. We ain't live yet on Facebook, but I don't know why. I had to do this earlier. All right. Charge. Here we go. All right, here we go. Bubba Jeebus. Was it not lit? Go live. Oh boy. Hold on. It was just lit. Choose where you want to post your broadcast on the right. I thought I did that. Use source. No, I did that. All right, hold on. Okay, we having a little technical difficulties here.
Okay.
Not sure why, but seem to be. Live on Facebook, that's what we want. Share my timeline. Right. Still asking this. There we go. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Larisha. It's connecting. See those cords in the background. Oh, we're ready. We're live. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. I am Roberta Spate, aka Miss Spurt, and welcoming you guys to our evening show. The Women's Power, the Women Empower web series has been going on all this week, and we are having a blast, a blast, a blast, a blast. Look, I don't want your friends or families or people who you think may need this, but I want you to take the time out, as I am going to do, and share this broadcast. Share it, share it, share it. Share it with a friend, share it on someone's timeline. Let's see what we got here. I need to, first of all, I need to change this to public. So make sure you change it to public, or they will not be able to share it off your timeline. So make sure you change yours to public, and you will be able to share it, and they will be able to share it, and we are good to go. Hey, good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Again, I am Roberta Spate, aka Miss Burt with Dreams Empowerment Network, and we are celebrating Women's Month or Women's History for the first 2 weeks of March. This is our second time having this beautiful Women Empower series, and I'm super excited each and every day to bring you these powerful women and men who are participating and sharing the light of things that can encourage, help change someone's mindsets, help change someone's life, that aha moment, that encouraging moment that sometimes people need to get through. So I want to thank our sponsor, which is Divine Inspiration Center for the Arts, located at 14849 Persistence Drive, second floor in Woodbridge, Virginia. So thank you, sponsor, Divine Inspiration Center of the Arts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So tonight we have Larisha Warner. She is an author, she is a speaker, and she is coming today with some powerful 5 crucial steps to pursuing your divine purpose. So I want you guys to get a pencil and paper, bring your iPhone, your tablet, what have you, and take some notes. I want to make sure you guys share this information. You know, I get hype, y'all. Get hype. I'm still looking for someone to do my intro music. You know, I had some people say, yeah, I do it for you. And then that didn't work. But, you know, I love music. I'm always like real hyper. So, you know, share this video. Share it out. You guys, I'll be checking the comments, doing my best to read them with glasses off. So if I can grab my glasses, I will. And make sure I'm able to read and pronounce words, because, you know, you hit my age, letters start to blend together. So thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Thank you, Don, who's going to be writing down the tips in the comments. You guys, if you haven't registered, registration is free, 99-cent free. Okay, all you have to do is go into dreamsempowermentnetwork.org. About us is the list of things that's going on. It's right at the top, 2019 Women Empower webinar series. So make sure you go and register, not subscribe, but go and register, so that you can keep up and see what's going on for the rest of the 2 weeks, right? You don't want to miss it, because I think I'm going to stop it on Sunday. So Sunday, I'm going to take all the things that's on Facebook down, and you will not be able to see the replay. So you definitely want to, catch the replay, put it in your arsenal of education material, inspiration material, motivational material, so you can go back and listen to some of these dynamic speakers, right? So, just make sure you go and register so you'll be able to get those speakers that, came on Monday night and today, which was myself, and we have Larisha Warner, which is tonight. So without further ado, I know you're like, gosh, you talk a lot. Just get to the point. We want the meat and the potatoes. I'm coming. Okay, slow down. Okay, Larisha, thank you so much for participating. I'm so happy to have you again on my platform. You are such an awesome woman, and an awesome woman of God, and I thank you for choosing me and my platform to be a part of. So you're not only blessing the listeners tonight, you're blessing me for continually being a part of Dreams Empowerment Network and the Black Authors Expo. So thank you, sister.
Thank you so very much. Again, my name is Larisha Warner. Tonight we're going to have fun. I'm going to be transparent. You may need to get your tissue out along with your book, your Bible, and so forth. But tonight I just want us to be free, to be open, to be candid, because that's just who I am and what God has been allowing me to do. So you may be wondering, like, who is Larisha? Who is Larisha Warner? Where did she come from? What is she all about? For me, one of the most important things that people will probably pick up, or as time go on, or really get to know me, I love God. I love God with a passion. I love God with everything that is inside of me. And as a result of me loving God and establishing a relationship with him, he has afforded me so many opportunities to be able to do what I can do today. Outside of my secular world work of what I do in the federal government, he's created a lane for me to be an author, to be a poet, to be an inspirational speaker, to be a coach, and now to be a founder of my very own ministry that he has given to me, Divinely Destined Ministry. Now, to be honest with you all, I never saw myself doing any of this. I'm going to be honest. I never saw myself doing any of this, but God had a bigger plan. He had a greater plan. He had a purposeful plan for my life. And I remember growing up as a teenager and taking entrepreneurship class, and the teacher would ask us, well, what do you desire to be? What do you want to do with yourself when you get older? And the first thing I thought of was music. I wanted to be a music mogul. I wanted to own my own record label. I was then going to be the next P. Diddy. That's what I was going to be. I was going to be the female version of him. I was going to help people live out their dreams. I was going to be on that stage. I was going to be on that platform. And I was going to really create that avenue for them to just literally live out their dreams. But God had other plans for me. And I'm okay with that. I'm still doing things that are musically related, but God had a greater plan for me. And I'm excited about it. And he just really needed me to partner with him to do it. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that tonight as we move along on our discussion. So how did I come up with this topic, the 5 crucial steps to pursuing your divine purpose? For me, I'm literally walking and living the steps that I'm telling you on tonight. So these are firsthand from experiences from God and just really cultivating my relationship with him over the last few years. And for me, as I mentioned, I'm going to be candid. You're going to learn a lot about who is Larisha underneath the surface, behind the scenes, the person who wrote all these books, but who is she? And I'm so grateful to God that we know in the word, in Revelations 12:11, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb, by the word of the testimony, our testimonies. And to share my testimony with you briefly, I grew up matriculating up the ladder, acquiring all these degrees, just doing great things and just being so modest and kind and humble. But on the inside, I was broken. I was lost. I was confused. And there was something inside of me, an experience that happened to me that really shaped my perspective and really had took a toll on me internally. I literally was dying on the inside and no one knew. When I was 5 years old, I was molested by a relative. And for years, I held on to that secret. And that secret, that guilt, that shame, that frustration, that pain, I literally remained silent. So even though the world saw me as this person, on the inside, I still had issues going on inside of me. And it wasn't until I was about maybe 24, 25, I had finally gotten this wake-up call that what I was doing in the world, the degrees, the men, the drugs, the alcohol, the sex, all these things, I was trying to use those as voids to fill up those empty spaces, but God had a greater plan. And the moment that I said, you know what, God, not my will, but your will, and I'm ready to accept you, all of you, and for you to really love the hell out of me, it opened up a new way for me. I had finally began that journey to freedom, healing, and wholeness. So for me, as a result of me talking about that experience, sharing it with people, being open, confronting the person who did this to me, I really truly believe that the Lord has been with me every step of the way, and I'm grateful for that. And now I'm charged with helping other people get out.
Yeah.
He has allowed me the opportunity to speak life into people, and that's where the whole poet came in. One night I was in bed, I said, God, just show me how to write a poem. I had never written a poem a day in my life, but he answered that prayer, and that prayer began to, one poem, the first poem I've ever written, The Power of Forgiveness, and how that literally was my way of just reflecting about what I had gone through and really talking to God about what those emotions, walking around with that guilt, questioning, can I really forgive this person, even though I'm told that I should forgive in the word.
Yeah.
So that experience literally set me up to continue on this journey. And the more I spoke, the more I realized I'm not alone in this. That there were
Yeah.
so many other people in this
Yeah.
world that have gone through the
Yeah.
same exact thing. And
Yeah.
if I can continue to keep growing and encouraging and speaking up, it'll give other people a chance to know that
Yeah.
they're not alone and that they too can turn to God.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, um, I came up with my title, of course, which was earlier today at noon, by my personal experience as um, finding my happiness. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that you hit on, um, and I talked about, is holding on to things that have hurt you,
Mm-hmm.
or pictures and
Mm-hmm.
songs, and it would take me back down that path, and holding on to regrets of,
Mm-hmm.
I wish I would have told someone, I wish I would have said something, I wish I would have been stronger. Those kinds of thoughts and emotion keep us in a place, like you said, where we feel that we are alone,
Mm-hmm.
and we feel that this is only happening to me. I'm too ashamed. I'm too embarrassed.
No.
And a lot of women go through that journey. Some stay in there, until, they're like 70 years
Absolutely.
old or 80 years old. When they feel like they have nothing else to lose, then they begin to, share the experience.
Absolutely.
And the world has changed. The world has changed in many ways. Are now giving women a place and a voice, such platforms like this, to tell their story and to help others, so others can begin to heal during this process. And it's a private, it's a personal healing.
Mm-hmm.
However, when you begin to speak it, you begin to heal not just yourself but others.
Absolutely.
So I definitely applaud you for taking that leap of faith, because I know, because I've been that route myself. I know it's not an easy route,
Absolutely.
because now you're exposing, snatching off that band-aid
Mm-hmm.
that you wore for so long, and hiding that scar that that only you saw. But
Absolutely.
now you're exposing all of that,
Absolutely.
snatching off that band-aid and saying, okay, God, I need you to heal me. I need you to expose me, and heal this wound, because now it's getting bigger than I can hide, because
Absolutely.
it's beginning to manifest in other things, like you said, in drugs and sex, alcohol, all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we don't realize, like you said, trying to fill that void. I too was the same way. Drinking, getting high, sex, all of that, trying to fill this void and hide this pain that I was going through, because I didn't want to let go of it, because that's all I knew.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how do I let go? What do I do? So I totally understand it, and I totally get it. And I thank you. I thank you again for being one of those um, heroes, that stood up and said, enough is enough. God
Thank
used me.
you. Yes, you're right. Thank you so very much for that. I mean, it literally, like as you said before, it wasn't always easy. I literally opened myself up to this because my family didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So now the rest of the world or people around me are starting to get an idea as to this is what she lived through, but now I have to face them.
Yes.
I now have to take the Band-Aid off. I now have to pull it up by the root and say enough is enough, and it stops with me.
Mm-hmm.
Not again, no one else in my family. So for me, I'm so grateful that God didn't leave me by myself. And he knew that the more that I talk, the more that I share, that it, like, again, it was going to bring healing, not only to my life, to my families, but also those that are connected to me. Because I have people in my circle who have experienced the same exact thing. And they began to share with me, it happened to me too, Larisha, but they never told anyone.
Never.
So for me, now I know that this is really a part of my divine purpose, because I would have never, sometimes you don't see the signs.
Yeah.
And no one saw the signs with me. I didn't see the signs with them, but they had felt comfortable enough to share it with me because they had saw me walk through my process, and they're still seeing me walk through my process. So to God be the glory for the great things he's done. He literally turned that bad situation around for good. And I'm excited to continue to walk in this journey, in this path. And for me, there was something, I would say, in this journey has been something unique about this whole entire process, because I know that my forgiveness journey may not look like the next person's.
Absolutely.
So I had to come to grips with that. My story it may just not be like everybody else's. So people ask, well, how could you forgive that person? How could you still talk to that person? How do you even still love that person?
Yeah.
God had to literally take me through that process and show me, if I can forgive you for the things that you've done, my God, then
Amen
you
to
too
that.
can forgive this person who did this to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? We all get to our places of forgiveness at our own pace. But if I'm going to be charged and being an advocate for forgiveness, I still have to forgive other people for things, just
Yes.
like he's forgiven me for things.
Yes.
So for me, that's really what has been my mantra, just the whole forgiveness journey, and just really walking out this healing and wholeness path. And I'm so grateful because I'm getting so much clarity while walking with God. I'm seeing so many victories that I never thought I would see, not only personal, but in ministry wise, in my own job. I mean, the sense of peace that I have, the joy that I have, because people will think that money and all of these things will fill those voids and bring joy to our life and bring happiness. But to have the peace of God in your life when the midst of chaos is going on around you, it's the best feeling in the entire world. And for me, I'm just so grateful that I had got out of my own head.
Yes.
I had got out of my own head and said, you know what? I'm not going to stop trying to do this in my own strength. I'm going to stop trying to do your job for you, God, but just for me to be able to trust you. And tonight's theme of these entire 5 steps, you're gonna hear me talking about faith and trust, because in order for you to really do this thing, to really walk in your purpose, you are really going to have to deny your flesh. You're really going to have to trust God, and you're really going to have to walk with him. You're going to have to forget your old way, your old habits of doing things. You can't do things business as usual when you're really walking in your divine purpose. So that is what the Lord has been sharing with me. And for me, when I noticed that I began connecting with God on a closer level and a more intimate level, I began to start seeing things, visions and dreams of things. And I would be like, oh my gosh, how am I going to accomplish that? first of all, are you sure you want me to do that? And I had to come in agreement with God and say, you know what? If you're bringing this to my remembrance, if you're really placing this upon my heart to do this, that means you trust me with it.
Amen.
And that was a beautiful thing for me to know, like, God really trusts me with this, because this is not easy. This is a huge task. But I'm so grateful to know that when I said, not my will, but your will, God, he heard me loud and clear. And sometimes we don't think that he hears us, but he really does. And
Yes.
he's just waiting for us to give him another yes.
Mm-hmm.
So when I really gave him the yes from the pit of my soul, and I wailed and I said, yes, God, I really mean this. That's when I saw the avenues and the doors opening, doors that no man can close, began to open up for me. And I am so grateful that even in this, like this opportunity. Thank you again. We spoke with each other many months ago at the Black Authors event, and now we're doing this. So I thank you so much for this opportunity again. But we're going to jump right started in it. The 5 crucial steps of pursuing your divine purpose. Now, before we begin talking about these 5 steps, I have to define, well, what is purpose? What is purpose? So
what is purpose?
Yes.
That's
So
all.
what is purpose?
2018, in 2017, you heard about purpose.
Absolutely.
Purpose. And people are, trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your definition of purpose?
Well, my definition, because I'm going to talk about what is purpose, and I'm going to talk about what is divine purpose. So I want to make sure I give you what is purpose and then what is divine purpose.
All right.
So for me, when I was studying, this is what had came to me. The purpose is the reason for which something is done or created, for which something exists. Now, when we think about our concept of divine purpose, we're essentially speaking to what God has created you to do. And when you actually are working and doing what he created you to do, you're ultimately bringing glory to his name. You're also ultimately bringing kingdom advancement here on the earth. So when we put those things together, I want you to all to begin to think about, what do you believe your divine purpose is in life? And if you're unsure, begin to pay attention to those special abilities, those unique things, those things that you get excited about that maybe nobody else gets excited about. But if there are things that you know that maybe God put this on my heart to do this. You don't even have to get an applaud for it. You don't have to get paid to do it. But it's those things that bring fulfillment to your life at a different level. Because everybody are driven by different motives.
Absolutely.
So as you begin to think about what your purpose is and what your divine purpose is, also want to make sure that you check your motives. I had to learn that very early on, checking your motives. You have to check them, and you have to constantly check them, because you don't want to run a risk of beginning to step outside of God's will because you're trying to go ahead of God.
Say that again. Say that again.
You don't want to go ahead of God. So always be sure to check your motives, because I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be transparent tonight. I have gone ahead of God, and it has wrecked my entire life. And I felt like I've had to start over at scratch because I got so excited.
Mm-hmm.
I got so excited, and I was like, all right, I think this is it. And then God was like, no, that's not it. I had another step for you to go through first. But if you would have just went through that step first, it would have cut down some time, and you would have got where you needed to be anyway. So every time I ask God, is this what you want me to do?
So what I love about God is when we do go ahead of time before him, it's like I personally get convicted. The Holy Spirit's like, see,
absolutely,
sit back here.
Absolutely.
I didn't tell you to go.
Yes.
So that's why it's all messed up. Here you are scratching your head,
absolutely,
looking baffled and asking me, well, why didn't it work? Because I didn't tell you to go yet. I didn't tell you to make that move yet. But absolutely. You, Missy, decided to make that move before I had prepared you to make that move.
Absolutely.
And so, I'm with you after a certain amount of time. I'm like, okay, I'm not doing nothing until I get to go.
Absolutely.
Green light.
Absolutely. And for those of you who have actually experienced it and gone through it, how do you overcome that? The best thing I can recommend to you is to go back to prayer before God and ask him to forgive you and to align you and to give you the patience and the wherewithal to trust him in the process. Because when we do step, and what I love about God is he extends us grace and mercy. So if you do make a mistake, reconcile yourself back to him. He's going to forgive you. And you can reset yourself and start again. But I think what happens is we get so caught up in our frustration and our and when we get so sad within ourselves that we begin to shield ourselves like Adam and Eve did in the garden when they got in trouble.
Yeah.
And God doesn't want us to be so scared that we can't come to him anymore.
Yep.
And I had to learn that for myself on this journey, that those moments where I felt like, oh my gosh, I've just been convicted. I can't shut down away from God. I can't turn my back to God. This is the time that he wants me to come see about him more than ever.
Exactly. And
that's our time.
That's a beautiful thing, because I mean, I talk to God as if I'm talking to you. I'm like, okay, you know, what's up? What, you really want me to go there? I don't want to do it. And I mean, I have this conversation as, you know, as if he was a person right in front of me. Right. And I go back and forth. I'm like, you know, I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I just sit there and I'm like, okay, I'll do it. That kind of thing. But I have that relationship with him.
Absolutely.
And you have to grow and nurture that relationship. And the way to do it, like you said, is prayer and faith.
Absolutely.
Because my faith is always tested, so I can grow. You know, when I left my job, and I thought, oh gosh, I can't believe I just quit. How I'm gonna pay my bills? You know, but has nothing been turned off?
Praise God.
There ain't nothing been repossessed. You know, it's still food on the table.
Absolutely.
And I have not lacked. My family has not lacked anything.
Amazing. God be the glory for that.
Lacked anything, but I had to put my faith out there, and every time I did, he opened up the door. He showed me more. Well, for being faithful, I'm gonna bless you with this. For being faithful, I'll bless you with this. I'm like, well, God dang! All right now, this house gonna go. But you know, it's my relationship with him that I feel secure that he's always going to be there. He's always on time.
Absolutely.
He hears my prayers. So I'm not gonna hold you up, because we will keep going on. But let's start with your first crucial point.
Yes. So my first crucial point is, we were just about to get into it. Uncover your identity. Uncovering your identity. That's the first crucial area that you should want to make sure that you are focusing in on, because you need to get clear about who you are. You have to be clear about who you are, who created you. You have to be very clear about that. And we've just been talking about spending time with God, reflecting with God, walking with God, talking with God, worshiping God, praising God. You have to know who he is.
Yes.
Why he created you. That is so clear. That is so important. Because if you do not, you will allow societal pressures. You'll allow low self-esteem. You will allow jealousy and envy, greed, and even the comparison spirit to manifest in your life.
Say that again. The comparison spirit. Say that again.
Yes, if you're not clear about who you are, you will allow societal pressures, low self-esteem, jealousy, envy, greed, and even the comparison spirit to manifest in your life. Now, you may be wondering, what is the comparison spirit? Well, God had brought this to my mind, comparison spirit. Okay, let's do some research. Let's delve in. Let's look into this thing. So this occurs when you subconsciously and consciously begin looking and comparing yourself to someone else.
Yep.
And we see this so much with social media now.
Yes.
You're scrolling through your page and like, oh, that looked nice. Next thing you know, you're wondering, why don't I have the husband? Why don't I have the car? Why don't I have the kids? Why don't I have this job? Why am I not here where I'm supposed to be in ministry? I've been faithful. I've been serving for years, but it looks like this person became an overnight success just yesterday. Like, we just seen them. And now they have 100,000 likes and 100,000 followers, but God, I've been faithful to you. Why is it not happening for me? Why is it not
like it is?
And for me, again, I'm being honest, I struggled with that in the beginning when I did all of this. I did. And there were so many people that would tell me, oh my gosh, Larisha, you're doing so amazing. You're doing this. I'm so happy for you. It's like, well, praise God. But on the inside, I was like, well, God, when is it going to be my time? When are people going to really like see me? And he convicted me, and he had to remind me, like, you're not doing this for them. You're doing this for me. You're not doing this for likes. There will be people that may never say thank you, or I'm proud of you, or I
Yeah.
saw that post, or your blog blessed me. But
Mm-hmm.
for those that do see it, just know that they may not never say anything, but even through it all, you're doing this for me.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
doing this to worship me. You're doing this to give back to me what I've given to you. So
And
never lose sight of that.
and like you said, at this time with the social media and everything, it's so hard not to. And I'm like you. I have found myself, people stuff pop up. Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Are you serious, God? Really? Them? Kind of thing. To the point where I had to repent, and I had to start like removing them off my page, so I could come in and do what I needed to do and not get sidetracked. I said, well, for me, I'm just gonna just mute them or whatever, so that I won't have to focus so much on that and focus on what God has called me to do. And another thing I just wanted to add is that it's not, I don't want to say not easy, but like you said, when you get in that state and you realize you're not doing it for the likes, that clicks on.
Yep.
I am not doing it for the likes. And I know I used to do a blog talk radio show, and I'm like, man, I'm not really getting as much traffic. I'm not getting this and not getting that. And God said, you're not doing this. This is something I wanted you to do for the people, not for Roberta,
right?
Not for the likes, for the people. Those who need to hear it will hear it. And then when I was like, oh, okay. And then when I stopped doing it, I got so many people like, why'd you stop? I was listening. I was this. I was that. I never knew that because they never told me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so that's what he meant. Kind of thing. And I was truly, truly embarrassed and truly was on my knees and asking God to forgive me.
Absolutely.
Because I did, I let my flesh override my spirit.
Yeah.
I let my flesh override my spirit. Okay. So, number 2, step 2.
Yes. So then the second one is one of the ones that I had to get serious about with doing was being able to remove your veil. So what does that mean? Removing your veil. Removing your veil for me, that has been one of the most challenging ones, because this is the area where you now have to go beneath the surface. This is where purpose is literally at. This is where divine purpose is, because when you go and begin to address those root causes like abandonment and rejection and rebellious spirits, when you begin to deal with those issues, those are where God is really going to be able to get the glory out of your life, because now those are the things that won't hinder you from walking in purpose. And I remember there was a period last year, people start seeing me doing all of these things. And then after a while, I got nervous and I got scared. And fear began to wrestle on me. And I would just, in a minute, I would just cancel events. I wasn't sick. I was just scared to do them. I wasn't sick at all. They were like, well, Larisha, well, why didn't you go there? And I was like, I will make up something. The Lord had literally gathered me together at my desk, and he had to remind me of the people that are waiting for me to speak up. Yeah. There could have been so many people in that audience who would have been ready to hear what God needed to say through me, but because I allowed fear to cripple me, they didn't get a chance to hear it.
Yes.
So I had to go back and repent, and I had to ask God to please, Lord, forgive me for throwing in the towel, for literally aborting the process. And I grieved for it for a long time. And I was wondering why there was a heaviness over me. It was because I had allowed the tricks and the plots of the enemy to literally just divert my focus. So I had to get clear about really going beneath the surface and really doing the work with God. It's not easy, but it's definitely doable. And like I said, I'm definitely still going through that process.
But,
And so you may be wondering, what does this process look like? Like I said, being able to uncover those issues inside of you that maybe no one knows about, but you and God know about it. And really processing and walking through it. And it's okay to seek spiritual and professional help. I'm an advocate for therapy. I did it for 5 years. And it really changed and reshaped my focus as to how I view myself.
Now, let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
Once you pushed through the fear,
Mm-hmm.
did you not feel victorious? Did you not feel that this is what it was supposed to feel like? That having God to use you and see the people blessed?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It would be, as time would go on, I would begin to sit back and I would begin to process how God would use me in little moments. There were people that would come up to me not knowing my story, but they had the same issue, and the Lord had brought them to the conference to begin with, but they didn't know why they were there. And they needed to talk to me, and they needed to hear my story. And there was a lady who would come back and forth to my table, and she would look, and then she would look at me and then walk away. And then the last time she read the back description of my first book and literally had tears in her eyes. She was one of those ladies that needed to know that God still loved her, that God was in the position and ready to help her. Now he just was waiting for her. She was a 45-year-old lady who had experienced childhood sexual abuse and had never told anyone.
The trauma of it is real.
Yeah.
It manifests in so many different ways.
Absolutely.
And some people think that because you were sexually abused, that you won't go on a tyrant of having sex with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But there are people that do
right,
that just have sex with everybody. And then there are people that don't like to be touched, don't want to be touched. Mm-hmm. So it's so many different ways that it manifests. Mm-hmm. So you can't say that it manifests it only manifests in one way. Some people are alcoholics, some people are, it just manifests in so many different manners, emotionally and mentally. Absolutely. So like I said, we experience it, but we all experience it in different ways.
Absolutely.
And it comes out in different ways.
Absolutely. So I know that we're with time, so I want to go to my next point. I know I had a lot of notes, but I'm going to go into my next point.
Yes.
So my next point is really about preparation. Preparation is key. And for me, in pursuing your divine purpose, I remember last year when I was planning for my first book release celebration, and people was like, wow, this looks like a wedding. This looks like that, because I was so into the weeds and I wanted to be in a beautiful event, but also I wanted to make sure that God was in the midst of it. So before I even began planning and before anybody knew about the celebration, I had wrote a plan, I shared it with my team, and then I snatched it back and I said, wait a minute, guys, I need to give me some time to get back before God to make sure this is what he wants. Because I don't want to get to a point where people just see me but don't see God. So I spent some time with God, and I had to get very sure. I was like, God, is this what you really want? And he allowed me to be very intentional about the whole evening. And for me, I always go back before God. Anything that he gives us, anything that he creates or wants us to do, he's going to give you direction in it. We just have to ask him. And I know for me, the things that he's showing me even now, those don't fit my bank account. Mm-hmm. But I have to have faith enough to believe that he's going to align me with the provision, with the resources, with the divine connections, with the pathways, and giving me access to things. I have to trust that he's going to do that. And his time, he just needs me to trust him.
Yes.
And keep on a journey.
Yes.
So preparation is so key. What we don't want to do is just go, like I said, go ahead of God. We don't want to go ahead of him. We want to make sure that, again, we understand and discern his voice, the enemy's voice, and our own voices. Because there were times where I was like, oh my, this seems like a good plan, but I have to make sure, is this really me thinking, or is this what God wants me to do? Because I have done it in the past. I say, okay, God, this is what I want to do. I'm going to do it. And then he was like, no, that's not what I want you to do. But what he really needed me to do was something bigger, grander, better than I could even imagine.
Yeah.
So we have to be careful that we aren't on our own path to selfish ambition and that we're just doing things just for ourselves.
Yes.
I don't like to be in front of people. I'm going to be honest with you all. But I am grateful that he is giving me an opportunity to share these things with you all and the lessons that I've learned, because I wouldn't want anybody else to endure some of the things that I've had to endure.
Absolutely.
But most of all, when we do this and when we aren't prepared, we're literally setting ourselves up for a dangerous path of confusion. We'll be operating, we'll be discontent, we'll be stressed out. I mean, I've been stressed out many a nights. There'll be a lot of chaos going on. But really, if you found yourself in that predicament and if you've actually done this, it's okay. This is your chance to go back before God, rectify yourself, ask him to forgive you, and then wipe the slate clean. And one time I've asked God to please breathe on this plan. If you don't breathe on it, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I cannot do it. And for me, this journey, like I said, has been amazing. But we want to make sure that we don't extend any unnecessary energy doing things that God hasn't even called us or created us to do. There have been some things that he has shown me. I'm like, you want me to do what? That's not even in my purview. I don't even be thinking about stuff like that. I mean, in my new book, the Lord has given me the opportunity. Now I can add songwriter to some of the things that I've done. I've never written a song before, but it was just one of those nights where God, I said, I trust you, and I was in worship. What do you want me to say back to you? And he just gave me words, and I ended up writing a song of worship to him.
Wow.
Things like that. I never saw myself writing music, writing poems, writing books, writing blogs.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing when you realize that it's much bigger than you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Much bigger than you. Okay, let's move on to point four. Point four.
That was, what's that about point four?
Number 3 was preparation is key. That's what we left off.
Preparation is key. So yeah, that was my point 4. We got one more point.
Oh, okay.
We got one more point. I'll go back through the points again.
Yeah.
So the point one was, I'm so sorry, is uncovering your identity. Point 2 was removing your veil. Got that? Point 2 was removing your veil. Point 3 is preparation is key.
Right.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, preparation is key. I'm sorry. Yeah, we were right. You're right. Good. So point 4 is get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Now, the Lord had shared this with me when I was at the end of my church service, and I was like in the front of the church, and everybody was in their own world having conversation, and I was just waiting patiently to speak with my leader, and he whispered in my ear, "Get comfortable with being uncomfortable." And for me, that was like, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Where God is going to take us in our divine purposes, it's going to be into some uncomfortable territories.
Oh, yes.
We have to trust the
Tell me about it. I'm in it now.
It's going to be stretched on so many different ways, but it's going to be for his glory. And it's going to be for us, to continue our own individual paths, to help other people and to draw people closer to Christ. So for me, I was like, get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Wow.
You know I'm shy. You get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Y'all hear that? You know she's that, right?
You know I'm shy. You know I have challenges with getting before people and speaking, but it's really the Holy Spirit that really gives me strength to do any and everything as it relates to anything that I do in life. But in my natural, people tell you, she over there in the corner quiet.
I am too. Okay, let's do number 5.
Yes, number 5, the very last one, and we've been talking about this. I mean, like I said, there's so many crucial areas, but this is one of my favorite ones. Walk by faith and not by sight. Walking by faith and not by sight. So for me, as I mentioned before, last year was hard, understanding this process and where God was taking me, and I couldn't get hung up by what I saw. I literally had to continue to trust him through the process, no matter whether it would be days where people would be asking me for opportunities or wanting to speak with me or not wanting to speak with me, I still had to trust God that he was still working things out behind the scenes. And it just hadn't been brought to my forefront yet. So for me, one of the things I want to leave with people is to know that please do not abort the process. Do not abort your process, because you have no idea that God is preparing an audience just for you and what he has created for you to do. And if you abort the process, what happens? What happens to those people? Just think that you and I both have been able to be where we are today because somebody prayed for us. I didn't get here just by happenstance. Somebody's work has literally helped me to be where I am today. So it is my duty, is my obligation to make sure that I too continue on my journey, because there are people watching us. There are people who do not know Christ, who need to know that he lives, that he breathes, that he moves, that he restores, that he delivers, that he heals, that he sets free. But they won't know that if we just decided to not do the work that God has called us to do anymore.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They will never know.
They will never know. You're absolutely right. Well, this has been an awesome time with you, my sister.
Thank you so much. This has been amazing. I have so much more, but it's okay. The Lord will be all right. You all will be all right. And this has been good. Thank you so very much for this.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, all of the speakers thus far have been amazing, and have, everything has tied together. God has tied all of the information together, and it has been an awesome time. So guys, look, make sure you share the video. Definitely. I've been blessed. Well, with
praise the Lord, I've been blessed.
I know that you guys got to share this information. Look, I want you guys to do this. Miss Lynette Howard said, "Thank you, Father, for the precious vessel, Larisha Warner." I want you to share this video. I want you to think about someone who needs to hear this. This video, not only this video, but I keep saying this video, but also Mr. Wilson's video, my video, Don Ferguson's video. I'm telling you guys, they will be totally blessed. It's just free. It's free. It's free. It's free. Make sure they register so they can get the next four guests that'll be coming up. So I want to again thank our sponsor for this particular segment, Divine Inspirational Center for the Arts, located at 14849. 148. There I go with the I'm trying to pull my arm out. Persistent Drive, second floor. 14849 Persistent Drive, second floor in Woodbridge, Virginia. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. And look, go to dreamsempowermentnetwork.org. You can see the list of speakers we have for the remaining 2 weeks. Register. It's totally free. Also, if you don't want to register, go and just fill out your email so you can subscribe. So make sure that when we have events like this, that you guys are notified. We had the Black Authors Expo, which was amazing. So we're still collecting Black authors out there. If you're listening, you want to be a part of an amazing event, go subscribe. Go to Black Roots of Alexandria.org and look at some of the amazing pictures and videos and things of that nature from that event. So guys, our next speaker will be on Thursday. We welcome Lisa Elliott at noon, How to Grow Your Business with Event Marketing. And then our second guest at 8:00 p.m. on Thursday. What's the day? I'm
Wednesday.
sorry. What's the day? Wednesday? I'm about to mess up. Hold up. Let me get my dates right. The day is Wednesday. Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. Friday. I'm sorry, scratch that, Friday. Friday, Lisa Elliott at noon, how to grow your business with event marketing. And 8 o'clock p.m. on Friday is Miss Doris Dancy, the devastation of betrayal. So make sure you guys again register so you can be able to download these wonderful nuggets these speakers are giving you in your arsenal, in your educational arsenal, in your motivational, inspirational, wherever you put all of these good nuggets where you can come and listen to them again or view them again. Make sure you get them. And you only can be able to get them and have them by going and register. Because after Sunday, this week's videos will not be on Facebook. I am taking them down. So make sure you register so you'll be able to get a download after all the event is over, and you'll be able to keep these to inspire you, to educate you, to motivate you guys. You know, when you're not, when you're feeling down and you need a pick upper, I want you to turn to the 2019 Women Empire webinar series. All right? Well, good night, guys. Again, God bless you. Many thanks to all you guys who have joined tonight. Pamela Milton says, thank you, Larisha, and thank me. This truly blessed her. So we have other comments. Thank you, Ashley. I kind of figured that out sooner or later, right? That it was Wednesday. Thank you guys for being my backup. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. You know, that's good people's right there when they look out for you. Thank you, Don. Yes, guys. So thank you. So Friday we had those two speakers coming in at noon and at 8 o'clock noon. Lisa Elliott with Play in the City and Miss Doris Dancy. So she'll be at 8 o'clock p.m. So make sure you guys spread the love. Let them know what they miss and how they can get connected. You guys, I'm going to call it a night. Be blessed. And remember, you have to dream big to win big. Love you guys. Now, see you on Friday.
Good night, everybody.